feeling, kind of like that void, and it just, she needs to fill her own
Yeah,
void.
exactly. Hello, people. That's what I always say. When you don't fill your own void first, then you seek for other people to fill it, and then they're never able to quite fill it like you want, and then they only get frustrated from you.
Yeah,
And I just think that she's harping on the attention so much, like the whole "you didn't kiss me today" thing. She was just going on and on about it. Like, that's the thing. You want to say it, make sure he understands and move on. But like, she was just she was being clingy. She was being very much annoying in that sense, but he was also being quite annoying. So I like kind of understand. I also quite understand both sides.
mm,
I do think that they eventually had a very healthy conversation about it. Like, after, when the next day, I think it was, they had a conversation. And for any couples out there, I think go watch that conversation, because that's more or less how a healthy conversation needs to happen. When you talk about something and you're able to say, I did this wrong, and then when someone tells you what you did wrong, you receive it in a
yeah,
constructive way and not freak out about it. So both sides are able to express themselves being without the fear of being attacked, or without the fear of the other side becoming defensive. Like I wrote down, she said, you need to work on this,
mm,
and I need to work on that. So it's like, that's just how relationships work. And when you talk about it, Zev and I had a conversation last night. He came over, and I was still in my head from the whole day, and I was being a bit more cynical than usual. I was being a bit stingy, and it was annoying him, but he realized that I was in a space where I wouldn't take the criticism well. So he let it happen, and he let me calm down a bit. And then afterwards, when we were sitting and enjoying a glass of wine and we were already there, then he brought it up in a very calm manner. And he wasn't like, you did this and you did that. And he was like just explaining it to me in such a calm manner, and in a way that I could really comprehend what was happening without getting defensive, and really understand where he's coming from. And so we could have this healthy conversation that helps us be better also for next time,
yeah,
and avoid a big argument in the future.
yeah. If we didn't, yeah, and I think that, I mean, obviously very healthy. Zev sounds very well
Yeah.
balanced.
He's learning, he's doing better.
That's great.
Yeah.
I think Jimmy and Chelsea, they've got a longer road ahead of them. And
Yeah.
anyway, we've got that spoiler for next week, so we'll see what happens there. But and even last week, we were saying that they're doomed.
Yeah. Oh my God, we've been going on about them. But there's also, so speaking of, what may or may not happen with Jessica, I was also looking, there's a lot of comments about her. And it seems like most of the internet is Team Jessica. And I have to say that I think, despite everything, despite my thoughts on how she behaved and how she reacted to the breakup, I do think he should have picked her in general. I think he should have picked her, and she should have picked Trevor.
Yeah,
And
which is what Trevor was hinting at. Um,
yeah,
or when he was like back in the positive, saying if everybody said, behaved well, everybody could go home happy. Um,
yeah,
I agree. I agree with that. Before the argument, I think that I agree. It should have gone that way. I think what how I remember Jessica and Jimmy is that Jessica got really angry before the breakup, and that's why they
yeah,
broke up. And
yeah,
so and and so when you think about that, about just the way she reacted and just like handles her emotions, like you don't I don't I think I think Chelsea should have gone with Trevor, and I think Jimmy and Jessica should maybe been together, but not as that it wouldn't have been a good relationship, because the way she handles herself, and you just, if he does end up sleeping with her, and it's not, and it's not just clickbait or whatever, is that really how you want your partner to treat you, with that drama
Mm-mm.
and that disrespect? And
Yeah, and that's not how you want the relationship to start, That's as soon as you become the girl he cheats on with, yeah, no,
yeah,
no.
yeah,
It's like, I
I
don't know.
agree. I agree. And so, people are team Jessica, and I'm just like, I'm team neither of them for Jimmy. It's
Yeah.
just,
Yeah, I don't
Chelsea
get the hype
deserves.
around him. I feel like none of them would have looked twice at him if they had met outside of the pods.
Well, I mean, Chelsea for sure. She said it, that he's not her usual type. I don't know about Jessica,
Yeah.
but it's just, I think it's just, them two are the biggest drama, the drama
Yeah.
centric couple. And, studies have shown that the more you see somebody, you more that you're invested. um
Yeah.
and so, yeah, I think that's just that. I mean, I'm looking at a
Yeah.
list of the couples, and you've got Amy and Johnny, and it's, nothing. They're just so drama free. they're
Yeah.
not
They're
they're not
just
content interesting, as in, they're just so nice with each other. They it's the beginning of the relationship. They are so, you know balanced and calm, that they're not uninteresting, so nobody's really invested in them, because they're not really
yeah.
shown as much, even though they are
Yeah.
such a nice couple.
It just goes to show what we're like as humankind. We get
Exactly.
invested in drama. We get in. Well, I think it's maybe that's even good in a way, because then maybe it sort of prevents us from seeking the drama in our own lives. So we need to seek the drama somewhere else.
Yeah,
Sort of like why we want to watch rom-coms so much, because rom-coms are just not real life. It just really is, and it's unattainable love. And so we sort of seek it out, like we seek out the drama in other people's lives because we don't want it in our life. We just enjoy it in other people's lives to get our fix.
I think you and I are a good proof of that, of just, we love Love is
Mm.
Blind so much, but we could not be dealing with this rubbish in our own lives. So I
No,
think,
no.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, I tell Zev all the time, like, I don't know how we got to it, but we're like, people were like, I can't remember how we got to this conversation where we're like, let's argue, let's do as if we're arguing, let play pretend, and I'm like, actually, even pretending, it sounds exhausting to me. It's like,
Yeah,
who can be, who wants that? Like, it's just so, yeah,
yeah, I sadly
drama
agree.
free for life.
Another couple who's nowhere near drama free is, Jeremy and Laura.
Oh yeah. Yeah. She, oh my God, her and that Hawaiian fucking shirt. I think this is a classic case of she's not quite into him, but he's like sort of the whole package. So she has to cling on to something to try and convince herself why he's not for her. So like she's clinging on to the first thing that she can think of. Maybe, I don't know, it just feels that way. Like, are you serious? A Hawaiian shirt may that be your, although I do think they have other issues, but may that be your biggest problem in life?
Yeah, I agree. May that be that you'll be, but he lied to her.
Yeah. Yeah. Big, big, big no no.
And it's, so we've had conversations about lying and cheating and things like that, and lying and cheating is such a gray, well, not cheating, but lying is such a gray kind of area of just, it's never okay, but sometimes it might be necessary, and people are only human, and things like that. But
Mm-hmm.
he just shot himself in the foot.
Mm-hmm. Yup.
And what I was going to say about cheating is that, you know I if you've been in a relationship for a while and you end up cheating for, any reason, I believe that it's something that you can get over depending on when you are in your relationship. If you've been together for 10 years and one of you just had, lapse in judgment or something like that or whatever, or just, 20 years, and that it's just not black and white. And cheating I feel is a complicated subject matter. This being
Yeah.
said, a couple of weeks into your relationship is too early.
Yeah. It's, you don't even have to cheat for it to not be okay. It's like going out in the middle of the night. It's not as if you went for brunch somewhere or met up in the afternoon or whatever, but it was like in the middle of the night after going out, God knows how drunk you were, and
Yeah.
nothing good ever happens after 1 a.m. I'm like, no, or 2, maybe, but like, no, honey. Yeah, yeah, like, whew, what do you, even if nothing happened, even if you were just having a conversation, I understand how you can get sucked into it and feel in such a bubble. And this is another reason why you shouldn't do it in the middle of the night, because when something about the middle of the night makes you feel like in a complete, like, different universe. It,
Yeah.
it, it enhances the feeling of that bubble,
You
especially if
don't see
you've been
clearly.
drinking. Yeah, exactly. So you're just allowing yourself to do something that you normally wouldn't, or that is morally wrong and that is hurting another person. So what would it be and what's the point? Sitting there with her for hours and then lying about it? It's just, oh God, honey. Like, seriously. Ah, have you never been in a relationship?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And his attitude around it of just like wearing his sunglasses and everything, I was like,
mm-hmm. Yeah, you ain't a rock star. Just get over
ick.
yourself.
Yeah. And
It's a
I don't I can't, from the conversation that we were shown, I'm not 100% sure on, did he outwardly lie to her and she caught him because she woke up and went to see where he was and kind of, you know, fibbed to just get the truth out of him? Or is she kind of digging for information? Do you see what I mean? Like, it's not,
yeah,
it feels like, he gave her a location figuring that she'd never see it. She ended up seeing it and he figured that he could lie about it and she caught him in a lie. That's what it feels like. But he didn't really own up to it. He's not really owning up to it. And if I can understand the whole Jimmy